This is Chie Satanaka, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. You better eat more meat.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick. Joining me as always is Taylor.
What up?
And Shadow.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
How's everyone been?
Pretty good. Nothing to complain about so far.
No. Good. Life's good. Work's good. I don't trust you, Taylor. Oh, no.
I'm just tired. I've had to work 3 weekends in a row, but next week I'm taking not tomorrow Monday off, but the following Monday. So I'm gonna have a 3-day weekend. So I'm like, yes, thank you, thankfully.
I mean, is it a 3-day weekend? You're probably gonna be making videos.
Oh, if I'm making videos for my channel, that's totally fine. That to me, that's not work. That's fun.
But you're all okay. I heard you had you overworked yourself.
Dude, yeah, I worked 7 days in a row, and I was just so stressed out, and I was like, I just had to stop myself from working because I was feeling sick. I was like, I can't. Yeah, but feeling better.
It's good. And shout out, your job's doing fine. No late nights anymore.
Yeah.
So there was a PlayStation State of Play, and some other some Nintendo news that randomly popped out of nowhere. I don't know if they had like a direct or something.
Yeah, they had direct.
They did? Okay, so
I think it was oh wait, no. It was the 25th anniversary or something like that stream. I don't think it was a direct.
Yeah.
Well, since the last episode, I think there's been a direct. Since we've recorded last, there's been a direct, but then there was also a Pokemon thing.
Oh, there was?
Separately, yeah.
No, we talked about Project Triangle.
Yeah.
I guess you're right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My timing's all messed up because I don't remember how long it's been, but I guess you're right.
We missed a week. But yeah, the State of Play. That was fun. We saw the same trailer or the same games from the last 3 State of Plays.
Oh wow, really? I didn't even realize that. Yeah.
They just said,
everything but the end was like, why is this here?
Yeah, we've already seen this.
I think what happens is PlayStation tries to keep up with Nintendo in their directs, so they want to make sure that they're not seen as like the secondary company by any means. They always want to just remain in relevancy. They wanted to remain at the forefront. So it's like Nintendo did a direct. They got a lot of hits. They got a lot of people watching because there was like 1 million people watching that direct at one point.
Wow,
unbelievable! How streaming it. And PlayStation just wants to come in and be like, "Oh yeah, we got stuff too. Don't just it's not just Nintendo. We got stuff too." And they didn't really show any of that. That could have just been dropped on Twitter. All those trailers and stuff, updates they had, could have been dropped on Twitter. And Square Enix could have did their own thing for what they showed.
Yep, well, I agree because it was like it opened with like Crash Bandicoot on PS5. It's like, who cares? Like, why is this here?
This is what's coming on PS5. But they did show off finally what they're doing for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and everyone was saying these rumors about this Tifa side story, and they're completely wrong. It's now this Yuffie side story, so we get to see Yuffie, and it happens when it happens when Cloud falls down into the church. So I'm not gonna rule that Tifa side quest off the table now, because now we know that they can do side quests. So maybe they'll have another one later on. But how long is this gonna be? I mean, it's coming out in like 4 months, and that's a long time. Is it gonna be all huge and a bunch of extra stuff? Or is it just going to be like that Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, which was nothing?
I'm thinking it's probably going to be something around like, I don't even know how long they were. Remember Final Fantasy 15 and it had its DLC with each character?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be as long as those. I don't know how long each one of those was, but it's probably going to be somewhere around there.
Yeah, like 4 or 5 hours, maybe something like
Yeah.
that.
But did you guys?
I,
Oh no, go ahead, Joe.
no, I was just gonna get into it. What I think about the whole DLC thing.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you see they during the battle system they showed off like dual attacks, like combo attacks? So that was one of the new things they showed off.
Yeah, like the guy, I forget what the guy's name is, but he like launches her with his spear and she jumps
Yeah.
up and does stuff. So in one of my prediction videos, I said I thought that they were going to do more of that in remake part 2. So I think this is like the beginning of them showing stuff like that. But to go back real quick, you were saying like how long is it going to be? They probably can put a lot of content in because they don't have to make any new areas. I mean, most of the trailer is her just running around the same areas in Midgar, so it's not like they have to make a new area. It's just the cutscene stuff. So, but
yeah. But do you know the character that they teased at the end of the trailer?
I thought that was a character from Crisis Core.
it's from Dirges Cerberus,
It is-
apparently. Some guy named
yeah.
Weiss.
Yeah,
I've never I played Dirges Cerberus, but I don't remember him.
Apparently, there's gonna be a lot of like stuff from Dirge Cerberus because Yuffie had a lot of story in that, I guess, or was connected to the characters in that. So, yeah, we'll see what it's like. I just remember I was watching Max's stream during the state of play, and he was freaking out, and then he sees those troopers, and he's like, "Oh wait, oh no." Oh no! And then he saw the trailer of the guy, and he was like, "Oh no!" Because he's like, he thinks Dirge Cerberus is a pile.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they're bringing it all in, apparently.
Yeah, they're trying to do the whole compilation thing, which is gonna be very weird.
we can get into that later. But yeah, it says, what are your thoughts on the DLC, Shadow?
I figured it's a good way for them to introduce Yuffie instead of like having her in part 2 and then you gotta dedicate a whole section to her. Like like they've been remaking a lot of things from the remake from how characters introduce themselves from the original. So you gotta believe Yuffie's thing was gonna be something a little bit more, like way more than what they did in the original, where you just ran into her in a random battle. She was probably gonna have her own boss battle, like mini boss battle with a cutscene, steal all your materia, but that's still stuff that they gotta spend time making. So and plus it's gonna like, take up memory of the game and stuff like that. So it's nice that, they introduce the character now so they can just jump into part 2. It's like I said, like how long is it gonna be? Is it gonna be the next one? How much is it gonna be? Is my next question.
They actually, I think we already have the price. It's gonna be, I think, $15 for the
Okay.
Yuffie thing.
Okay,
And
so yeah,
if you've already bought Final Fantasy VII Remake, you automatically get the PS5 version for it.
yeah, the damn well should because you don't get it any other way having it on PS5. Yeah, that's another thing that's really crazy. I get that they probably invented or developed the game with the PS5 power in mind, but it's still something a little bit weird that now I got to get a PS5 to continue the story. So I'm a little bit tilted at that. All the stuff that's surrounding it, like this kind of opens the door to other chapter episodes, like you guys have been saying. Like, what they're gonna do a Vincent DLC, they're gonna do a Sid DLC as well.
I wonder if they're
hope
going
not.
to. Yeah, I doubt it. But I wonder if they're going to like add like cameos, like hints, like hey, you see like hey, there's Sid in the background or something like
Yeah, and
that.
yeah, like they do something like that. Again, open it up to DLC before part 2 gets here. So, oh man, I didn't expect them to do this, but it's whatever to me at this point.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Shadow, in that like I'm kind of pissed that it's not on PS4 and PS5 because if it was on both, that would make sense. And honestly, I'm shocked it's only PS5. And I've been seeing all kinds of comments like, "Well, I don't remember Persona 5 Royal being on PS3," and it's like that's totally different because the original Persona 5 came out on PS4. Also, there's like by the time Royal came out, there was like 100 million PS4s. So I think I think if PS5s were more readily available, I don't think there would be as big of a pushback. Especially because it's not even been a year, since Remake came out, and they're already doing a remaster or like a definitive edition or whatever.
I hate when people do that, like make those type of arguments, especially when you said, well, like, oh, Persona 5 Royal wasn't on PS3. I'm like, bro, that's an entirely different situation. Like, yes, it's the same, I guess, end game, but it's still an entirely different situation. Like, that's like reaching completely. Like, you don't get the circumstances surrounding both. You're just looking to correct somebody, even though you're not
Yeah.
looking at the situation as a whole. You're not looking at the context.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That was what was annoying to me, and I won't name names, but there was somebody that was, tweeting stuff like that at me on the day of the state of play, and then my like I said, my big problem is, well, there's not PS5s available, and they're like, well, that's not Square Enix's problem. I'm like, well, it kind of is, because like they want people to buy their DLC, then they kind of need people to be able to buy it, which people literally can't even buy it because they don't have a PS5.
Yeah, you
So
can't get a PS5 anywhere. So
like I fully anticipated part 2 to only be on PS5, but
yeah.
that was not going to be for another couple of years, right? So
Mhm.
This just guarantees it that it's going to be only PS5 now.
oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No question.
And I feel like that was such a BS answer too. Like, oh, we optimized it only for PS5. Like, you could have put it on PS4 if you wanted to.
You probably could have put it on PS4. Maybe it wouldn't have ran as good, maybe, but like that's to be expected. And for people that aren't playing on there, they'll probably know that it's not going to run anywhere as smooth as on PS5. But you definitely could have done something to make it playable on PS5, on
Yep.
PS4. I'm sorry.
But let me ask you this, Shadow. A lot of people were expecting the announcement of a PC version or an Xbox version, which we got neither of.
It's
So is that a little
interesting.
surprising to you?
That's definitely surprising to me. I thought this would be a time where, I thought like they'll announce the PS5 version, and then maybe like 2 days later they'll announce like, oh, it's also coming to PC, and Xbox, but they didn't at all. Which I believe the exclusivity for Final Fantasy VII Remake just ended, or it's about to end next month.
Yeah, it ends either March or April.
Yeah, so when is that happening? I'm waiting for this. But now at this point, with Yuffie, now it's probably going to be something around the holiday season or early 2022, where you get everything in one, and it's the Ultimate Edition, and now we're porting it over to PC, and you can get it all for $70 at this point. So,
They're just.
but
I think they're just gonna do the. They're just gonna release it. I bet you the PC and Xbox version is gonna be the Intergrade, because Intergrade is the version that comes with the Yuffie DLC.
Yeah,
Yeah, you only have to pay for it separately if you do the free upgrade. I think from PS4. Like if you bought it brand new, I think it comes with it, but you're paying $70. So
yeah, if they released Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox, they would have to release Integrate on Xbox, not just Final Fantasy VII Remake, I would assume.
yep. I was also thinking about the name. The name is not. It's still dumb, but it's not as dumb as it could have been, because I feel like Square Enix.
Yeah, they trying too hard. They trying too hard on these names. They trying to sound different and stuff like that. I was like, Integrate. It could have been anything else, but you say Integrate. All right, cool story.
When I first saw their announcement, because I woke up, I fell asleep and woke up 2 hours after the state of play, and I saw that it was like Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade announced, and I'm like, oh, they finally announced part 2. I thought it was part 2. I'm like,
Oh, no,
it's just Yuffie,
The definitive edition or whatever.
Yeah. I'm glad that the older updates are giving the Final Fantasy VII Remake, increased frame rate, better textures on the backdrops, on the backgrounds. That's like a welcome change.
better loading.
Performance mode, yeah, better loading. Oh yeah, the loading time.
Did you see how fast the loading was?
Yeah, because I remember loading the game on PS4. It took forever, and that's just the PS5's on, I guess, solid state drive in work right there. Oh my goodness, that is so good. It's like, it's nice that it's getting all these updates that it should be getting. Just question that PC release at this point.
Yep. But apparently that wasn't the only Final Fantasy VII news. There's like a whole slur of Final Fantasy VII news.
Oh,
Yeah,
The,
this is a
fir-
weird
the
one.
first one was, Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale.
This one, listen, man. I could say like, okay, why are you taking these resources and putting them into, I don't know, like the Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 or whatever the manpower is or something like that. Put it into Part 2 so you can get it out as soon as possible. But it is whatever at this point. I don't care. I'll probably end up playing it, just play it for just for a little bit to see how it is. But man, is this unnecessary? Man, did nobody ask for this stuff?
People are saying there's like, oh, they're probably working on a Battle Royale, and it's like, hey, let's throw Final Fantasy VII onto it.
Yeah. Like didn't they try something with 15 with the online mode for 15 or something like that? And that didn't do, nobody really cared about it.
Yeah, it was called like Comrades or something.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. They always trying to do it. I think they just want they want to create something like, I don't know, bare bones is the right word, but they just want to create something they can get easy microtransaction money. That's probably that's ultimately probably what it is.
Yeah, and it's only on mobile, which is weird.
Yeah, that's weird too. Mobile, like my phone ain't gonna be able to run that shit.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how good or bad it is when it comes out.
I'm pretty sure. Like if I had to bet on it, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be bad. Like if I end up liking it, then that'd be interesting. But maybe it's the only battle royale game I play. I don't know.
Turns out to be Apex Legends 2. It's like, whoa, this is amazing! But only if it's like released on PC, because
That's what I'm saying. Like it should also be on PC. Like, why would you run this on only mobiles? But all right.
just a mobile thing. And another mobile game that they're making, what's it called? It's called Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis.
Okay, this one I don't understand.
Okay, so
Is this one like is it like they're completely remaking Final Fantasy VII in this style, or is it certain just story bits? Is it also story bits from Crisis Core, story bits from Dirt Cerberus? Like, what is going on here?
okay, so let me watch the trailer again.
Yeah, because like they show Final Fantasy VII, and like they could have made it in that style if this was back in like 2011 or something like that. We probably would have accepted it back then. But now they had to do the whole full blown remake. But
It's saying an episodic return to the Final Fantasy VII worlds. I'm kind of skeptical about this because people are like, "Oh my gosh, are we making the entire thing?" And I'm like,
I don't think they're remaking the entire
it's
thing.
like,
No.
I don't think that's what's happening. I think you click an episode and you watch it play out, and the only thing that you really interact with is the battles.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
It's not. I don't think it's gonna be like a full-on RPG. I think it's just like you just play the battles, because when it goes into the battles, it goes into the Final Fantasy VII remake style. It looks like it's using those assets.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I think isn't it still using the same
Now I gotta
like
look
Final
at the
Fantasy
trailer.
7 PS1 type setup, but just like mods enabled or something like that?
No, I mean you're trying to emulate that style with the.
Yeah.
It looks good, but it's when you go into battles, it becomes like the Final Fantasy VII remake.
It becomes a remake?
Yeah.
Really?
Watch the battle system.
Did I not see that? Let me see.
Yeah, like the exploring is slightly better looking PS1 graphics, and then let me get to a battle here.
The thing is, they don't.
Yeah,
show,
you're right.
They don't show any like free roaming, right? It looks like it's all like doing it by itself.
I like the artwork. The
artwork, like everything about this is cool. I just want people's expectations to, it's not gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a full-on remake because they're saying they're gonna do there you go. It goes into the remake style.
Okay. Well,
but it's like
man based. I don't think it's.
No,
like
what people said, it looks like the Final Fantasy 13 style battle system.
Nah, this is. I think this is still a turn-based battle system, but it's like command-based. I didn't see them moving. And
Yeah,
plus,
I mean
Aaron's
it's
gonna
definitely
get in the
turn-based, yeah.
Scorpion battle. Yeah, it's a turn based. Yeah, this is what. Yeah, what's sad is this is probably what Final Fantasy VII Remake should have been when it comes to the battle system. Something like this, still a turn based. Yeah, probably should have
That's
did
what
something
so many
like it.
people were saying. But they're saying that it features the entire compilation of Final Fantasy VII, so every single game and like story bit.
Uh, yeah, I think they're gonna slowly like drip feed that, and
Wow.
not all of it's gonna be available at the start.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like, oh, play this episode, the beginning of Final Fantasy VII, and then play this episode, Crisis Core, and then play this episode, Advent Children.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna go through the whole entire like this thing is not gonna be released and be like the whole game of Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
so
Not right away, but
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so vague. No one knows what it is. So
Yeah,
I
it
want,
features the
I
entire
just want,
compilation. Yeah, it's
yeah,
not gonna be at once.
I just want people to have their expectations lowered.
Plus, it's a mobile game, so
Lower your
definitely
expectations with this.
lower that expectations.
Yeah, just lower them a little bit. It looks cool, but just lower them because it's too good to be or to be true. Too good to
Like,
be true.
Yeah, and I don't know how to include Crisis Core in this because I could have sworn that I want like the remaster of Crisis Core. I don't want this, whatever they're trying to do with this. I hope this is not what they're doing with Crisis Core, but you never know.
Yeah, they're just gonna make Crisis Core. They're just gonna make everything into that style.
cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they showed Crisis Core already. They showed the intro cinematic or the intro scene to
Yeah.
Crisis Core in that style. So
Did
Yeah.
they?
yeah,
Yeah, they
at the
did,
end of the
yeah.
end of the trailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I certainly hope they still want to do like a re-release of Crisis Core, PSP Crisis Core. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be fun. I want to replay without using the PSP. With
Yeah, it looked good for a PSP game too. That's what's crazy. I keep forgetting that's a PSP game.
I mean, PSP games in general looked good.
Yeah,
If made correctly. There's some games that are just like awful.
yeah.
Taylor, hype level. It's mobile.
Yeah, I mean, at
And
first I was
you got
kind
a
of
new phone.
confused. I do, yeah. It can run games a lot better now.
What phone did you get?
An iPhone SE, so it's
Oh.
not like amazing, but I think it has the guts of like an 11, but it looks like a 6 or a 7 or something. But
Okay.
yeah,
That's the phone that you looked at when you were over here.
yeah. I got it really cheap. It was only like $150 or something. So,
Not bad.
but yeah, I mean, at first I was really confused. I'm like, so they're remaking it 7 again, all right? But I don't know. It could be neat. I don't know why they're doing it, but
Yeah, I don't know why they do anything either. Like,
well,
and
okay.
again, who asked for this?
Okay. It's I could tell you why because there's a spoiler right now. Final Fantasy VII Remake is technically so it's not a true remake of the original. This looks like one-to-one a remake to the original. And they even said that they're going to do the Final Fantasy VII Remake story as well. I like content from that.
Weird.
Yeah.
This is weird, man.
It's very weird.
Oh my goodness. This is
Square
weird.
can't just like put a game out. They have to
I know,
do like a
right?
full blast of everything. Like, remember when 15 came out? They made like a car replica of like the car in the game and stuff. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah, and they made a movie. They cut out the Insomnia, invasion and made it into a freaking movie.
Oh, that was the worst idea. That was such a bad idea.
Oh my!
I remember watching the movie. I saw it when it came out, and I was like, "Why did you put this in the movie?" I couldn't believe they left some like that was key story bits, and
in the game. Yeah, I did like the anime though. The anime was pretty good.
Yeah, because it was all backstory. It wasn't like new stuff. It just kind of gave context to like their friendship and stuff, which was neat.
Yeah, which you still needed because like you just start the game off and they're like besties forever. Like I would like to see this have grown, this relationship grow.
That would have been cool to like harken back to some of the scenes of that of the anime. Like who's the blonde guy who was a fat kid? Prompto who was a fat kid. Was a fat kid.
Yeah, see, like it's kind of like how Graces did it. Like Graces started you out like they started like young, and then like there was a time skip eventually in Graces, and you got to see how their relationship has been strained all these years and stuff like that. But okay, Final Fantasy wanted to do it different. Got to be different.
Yeah. Well, at least they're not. Oh wait, knock on wood, guys. At least they're not making like a FF7 series. They're gonna release a manga, and there's gonna be a motorcycle you can buy that's Cloud's motorcycle.
They
And
probably already had that. Just the pandemic hit.
that's what I'm saying. Knock on wood. Hopefully, I'm not predicting the future. Because there's one.
Watch them do it now.
Yeah, because there's one Tales game that did all that. Do you know which one it was?
Zestiria?
Zestiria.
Zestiria. That's Zestiria.
Zestiria went all out. It had an anime. It had manga. It was like, oh, Tales series is back.
And it wasn't that great. People hated that
And
shit when it
then
came out.
it became the Sonic 06 of Tales.
Unfortunately. Okay, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, it's not that bad. I'm saying that.
I know what you mean. I definitely know what you mean. But like,
well, the people listening probably don't know what I mean. It's like they wanted it. Sonic 06. They wanted it to be the Sonic the new Sonic of the next generation, and it was rushed, not completed, and that's what happened with Zestiria. It was not. It was an incomplete game. It was that, like, you see the game, like, once you watch the anime and then you play Zestiria and you've played Berseria, you see what Zestiria could have been, and you're like, damn, why don't they make a freaking F arc or an R? Tales of Zestiria F. Ooh, that'd be good.
Right.
Nobody would buy
it. Yeah.
I mean, they'll be like, brand new story and revamped and remade and improved in all aspects, and it's just like, yep, Alicia is now playable for the entire game.
That'd be nice.
I mean, that'd be nice, but I don't think they even have time to do all that. I think eventually down the line they probably should do something like that. But
that would be. I would love that. That would be.
I wouldn't mind that either.
I mean, they already have the story because Alicia is in the party the entire time in the anime.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god! Yeah, so there's no problem.
And she can armatize.
Oh my god! Sounds like they literally did it for DLC purposes. But okay.
Well, the DLC, she can't do that. The DLC was just like, oh, we must see Saray. Okay, let's see Saray. That's what happens. Okay.
Like they just literally took her out the party because for DLC. That's all that's literally why they did it. Okay, you guys got it.
I remember reading that Japan was pissed that they did that.
Oh, they were pissed. They were angry.
You think because the DLC wasn't? It was just like an after story.
Yep, it's a complete after story.
And she doesn't. Gosh, she has such a huge role in the story too. Oh man, I can't get in this. Can't get no. All right, Taylor. This news is for you.
All right.
What do you think of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pearl, or Shining Pearl?
It's okay. It's weird. I was expecting it to look like Sword and Shield, but they're like doing this weird in between of like it kind of looks like an old game, but it has like a modern graphic style, and I don't really know if I like that like halfway look.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people complaining about that. They're like, they make it look like a freaking like PS2 game, and I'm like, really? And I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm like, the only reason I'm hesitant is because of the other game, because the other game is like not far behind it, from what I understand.
I just think it should have looked. It could have looked a little bit better than what we saw. Like a lot of people are comparing it to Link's Awakening. And I'm like, if it looked like Link's Awakening, I don't think I have a problem with that.
Yeah,
this looks lazy. Like people are saying, oh, they're doing this to harken back to the original, like as homage to the original and stuff like that. And I'm like, no. Did they say they were doing that? Did they say? Are you just making excuses of them? Because nobody said that. So why didn't Omega Ruby and Apple Sapphire look like this? Why didn't they do that for that one?
Right.
No, because
Yeah.
it was the natural progression to go from XY graphics back to XY graphics when they did Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. This one, I guess I can understand they put it in the hands of a different developer, I believe. It's not Game
Yeah,
Freak.
it's not Game Freak. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
did?
Game Freak is doing the other game. So it's like even then I'm still just saying, I'm just like, this
Oh, you're
could
right.
still look better because I feel like, I don't know if you guys ever seen Pokemon Masters. That game.
Oh,
Like
the mobile game.
yeah, the mobile game. The character models of Pokemon Masters look better than this.
Yeah, it's true.
Like Let's Go looks better than this. I'm like, you know what? Pokemon ain't my thing. If you guys can eat this up, eat it up. Do whatever you guys want. It doesn't really matter. You guys know probably it shouldn't look like this on some level, but you tolerate it because it's Pokemon and it's like the remakes that everybody all know. If Gold and Silver, Heart Gold, Soul and Silver got a remake for whatever reason, I don't think they're ever going to, and they
They're
look
gonna
like this,
remake a remake.
yeah, exactly that. But if they did that, I wouldn't be accepting this. I'd be like, what is this, huh? Like, no, this is not how it look. Like the original Diamond and Pearl kind of looks better than this. Black and White 2 kind of looks better than this. But you know, if you're a Pokemon fan, you like it, have at it. I don't care anymore. It's not worth wasting my energy on.
I think one of the reasons why people are so mad about it is because Game Freak makes millions and billions of dollars from Pokemon. Pokemon is huge. If a company like Falcom made something like this, I don't think people would be as mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I hear what you're saying, right? Like they should have the resources to make it look better or be better than it is, but they don't because they don't need to.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of they don't need to and like how they allocate their resources. It's like, oh, we only need one company doing this. They don't need any other help, and we got companies doing this. Plus, they got to release the stuff in tandem with the anime and stuff and merchandise and stuff like that. So that kind of puts strict deadlines on them because they're also creating another game. But again, this is not Game Freak. It's not like Game Freak is creating 2 games. This guy doesn't come doing one another game, but it's oh my god, yeah. Why they don't? I don't get it. I won't understand. I'm not into. I would love to be a fly on the boardrooms when it comes to splitting up the work, splitting up teams and stuff like that. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Do you need more for this team? We got billions of dollars. We could probably help you out if you need it. I don't know what's going on. It's whatever. At this point, Pokemon's gonna Pokemon, and
Yep.
they're still gonna make millions of dollars. People are gonna buy it. People are gonna love it. And they got the chibi style, and like people are just automatically behind it because oh, it's cute. It's cute. I love it. It's so cute. Looks so good. Alright, whatever. You guys got it. They could just they could literally give you a new Pokemon game or a remake, have it look like Generation 1, Red, Blue, and Yellow. Say they only have only 3 badges are available, the rest DLC, and y'all niggas still eat it up. So you know what? I'm done. Yeah, I'm done.
It's true. It's true. But yeah, so I think another reason why people are pissed is because they also announced Pokemon Legends Arceus. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Arceus.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it also looks dated.
So, like this the best Game Freak can do? Is this a limitation of the Switch?
I don't know.
know.
They just I don't get.
Yep.
I mean, maybe they're trying to stick with a certain art style, but there's something wrong with it. There's something wrong with this art style. And
It's like okay, I don't think it looks bad. I think the frame rate is my biggest concern here. Like is the game going to be that choppy when it releases?
Nah, I don't think
probably. I don't know.
It's probably not out
That's
for
what we
another
said
year. But
Yeah, it's
That's
not.
what we
It's
said about the wild area, and it still had problems. But that was only if you were online, I guess.
But it's changing. It's finally changing Pokemon.
Yeah, I agree with the direction they're going in. Yeah, the direction they're going in is cool.
I mean, it took them freaking long enough. I'm sure this is probably the only you know system they had the horsepower to do it on, because they couldn't have done this on like a 3DS or something, right? So, but
Wii or Wii U.
Yeah, true. I don't know why they were so insistent on only having Pokemon games on handheld, but
so it's like it looked like it says that they're trying to deliver an experience infused with new action and RPG elements. maybe this is the Pokemon game that could actually call it a JRPG, Taylor. Maybe.
I
Not
don't
the other
know.
ones.
I'm still calling both of them JRPGs, so deal with it.
So is this one gonna be like? Is it? I don't think it's gonna be turn-based. Like you're gonna be able to fight using the Pokemon, like actually inputting commands for the Pokemon, like an action game, or
I'm not-
There's no UI in the trailer, so it's hard to tell.
okay.
I'm reading right now. To catch a wild Pokemon, players can study the Pokemon behavior, sneak up on them, and then throw a Pokeball. Players can also battle wild Pokemon with their ally Pokemon by throwing the Pokeball holding the ally Pokemon. Wild Pokemon will seamlessly enter a battle. So it's like it goes into a battle state. So
Okay, that's pretty good.
So that's good. It's based in a past of the Sinnoh region, which is the Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. And it looks like classic Japan, so people are loving that.
Yeah, feudal Japan Pokemon. Let's go. I'm excited about the setting. The setting is cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
What I thought was really weird was there's no new starters. They're just using 3 existing starters from past games.
So
which I'm not mad about, but
yeah, it feels like this is not. It feels like this is not a mainline game to me. Like usually mainline games will like be like different regions and stuff like that, but I guess it's still a mainline game. I don't know.
My guess is this is like them dipping their toes into making an open world Pokemon game, and then whatever the next one, it'll be full on open world like this, but it'll be like
so it's another experiment or something like that. So
yeah, Pokemon laser and missile. I don't know what they're gonna call the next one.
They kind of have to make these experimental games side games because the fan base is so set in their ways that if they call they show a new Pokemon game that looks like this, people are gonna be so mad and they're gonna boycott it. But then when it comes out, they're just gonna buy it anyway. So
yeah, of course. That's the thing I don't understand.
Yeah, so they don't want the bad press, even though any press is good press, or any press is good press. Is that what it's called? Is that the same?
Yeah, pretty much for the most part. No, that's it.
And yeah, so that's probably why it's always side quests, side games. And if this one, that looks like they're trying to make it a series. So if this one goes well and people really like it, it might become the main Pokemon series.
Yeah, exactly. Like the style might become the main Pokemon series
because the old style Pokemon it doesn't fit anymore. It was made that way because it was on handhelds. And yes, Switch is technically a handheld, but it's also a console game. So.
Yep. So the next one will be Pokemon Legends Mewtwo, Pokemon Legends. I don't even know all the Lugia. I don't know all the legendary Pokemon.
Dialga. I forgot his name. Rayquaza? No, that's Hoenn.
Yeah, Rayquaza. Yeah. I don't know if
Pokemon Legends Pikachu. There you go.
There you go.
I'm surprised they used Arceus. I'm really surprised they did that, but I guess it's in Sinnoh, and since he's the god of Pokemon, supposedly, we don't know which one came first. Arceus, Mew, Pikachu, Rhydon. We don't know who came first.
The thing that is a little bit surprising to me. So usually Pokemon almost always come out in November, and then this one says it's releasing in early 2022. So we're gonna have like a Pokemon in November, and then another one in February. They're like really back to back.
Yeah.
But
2 teams are making it. That's probably why.
Yep.
They can do it.
When are they gonna make Pokemon Party and Pokemon Golfing and Pokemon Kart?
Now give us Pokemon Warriors. That's what I want.
Hey man, I would have took that over how Diamond Pearl look.
Yeah, actually, that would work pretty well. I mean, you just control a Pokemon, right?
Yeah,
for the most part. Yeah, exactly.
I think it'd be fun, but it might be too violent or something.
Yeah, that's what
Pokemon isn't violent, but
what are you talking about? Pokemon, you're fighting with animals.
Yeah, that's crazy about it. I remember one time I think my mom's friend, when I was a kid, like probably around 8 years old, she told me what was going on, and I was like, "No, that's not. They want a battle. That's not the problem."
They like the battle. Look, the Pokemon fainted.
Yeah, she like explained to me so much I couldn't I couldn't go against her because what she's saying made so much sense. Like thinking about it as an adult, I'm like, damn, this is really what's going on. It's like cockfighting for the most part.
Yep.
But okay.
Pretty much. That's a good way to put it.
And they're making 10-year-old kids do it.
Like, yeah, that's weird. Well, yeah. People, like I said, people will eat these up. It don't really matter anymore. They're not worth me going crazy over anymore.
Yep.
What would be a dark, edgy Pokemon be like?
That's
But
close to
instead of
real-
knocking them out, you could kill Pokemon or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
They're never gonna do that though.
I think that's dark. I think that as dark as the series is going to get was Black and White, and Black and White too. That's as dark, quote unquote, as the series is going to get.
Was that the one where like PETA was in the game or whatever?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, basically.
I would say that just like the world, like it's gonna be like the world. It's like an RPG world where going outside is unsafe unless you have a Pokemon.
That'd be cool, actually. But it's too. This company is way too family friendly.
I know, but I could totally see them doing that. I would totally see a game like that.
I think there is like a fan made game that goes into like a really dark story. I forgot what it's called, but I think I played it a little bit. It was actually pretty good, but it was so different.
It was called Jade Cocoon.
Jake.
I don't think so. No.
No,
I like
it's not. It's not called Jade Cocoon.
Oh.
All right. So Taylor, you've been playing Bravely Default 2.
Yep.
Tell us your thoughts about it.
Uh.
Well, first. Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah.
I want to ask. A lot of people are having trouble with the difficulty on our Discord.
Yeah.
How about you?
Nope. Not yet.
Not
I
yet.
mean, there's been some bosses where it's been a challenge, but I haven't died yet. I guess I know. I mean, I know how these kind of games work, and I'm very familiar with games with job systems. So I don't know. It wasn't too difficult. If I'm being totally honest, though, Bao, who's on Shadow's podcast, he put out this video where it was like, here are like 5 tips for people that haven't played it before. And there was one tip that helped with the one of the bosses. And I don't, because you have to basically go really far down the freelancer tree to get a certain ability, or else you're just going to get walloped in this fight. And I probably wouldn't have done that if I didn't watch this video. But with the battle was still challenging, but it was much, much easier. Because basically what happens is you start the fight out and he buffs 4 other like mini, minion characters or whatever. And so on the freelancer tree, there's an ability called like, I think it's like start over or like starting from scratch or something. And it basically debuffs them. And so I basically made sure I had 3 characters that had that ability. So I started off debuff, and then I was just able to one-shot the trash enemies.
Can you see like what skills they have beforehand? Like what each class has?
Yeah,
Or-
once you unlock one, you can see the entire tree. You can see it all the way
okay.
down.
See,
Yeah.
And I would have looked at. I probably would have. What probably would have happened to me is I probably would have fought that fight. Thought it was a little bit crazy. Then I would have looked at my skills and said, okay, there's something not right here, and then probably found that skill and be like, okay, I probably need that skill. Let me go grab it.
Yep.
I forgot how it works in Bravely Default. How do you actually get skills? Is it by items? Weapons?
No, so basically it's like tactics. You select a like main job, and whatever your main job is, you get experience for your character, but then you get job points for that class. So every time you fight, you get JP, and then you have like JP levels. So I think each class or each job has 12 levels. And yeah, as you just continue to level up that class, you just unlock new abilities. Some are passive that you have to equip separately, and some are you just have them if you have the class equipped. And then you can have a subclass where you can still use the abilities, but you're not like you don't get the stat benefits and stuff like that. I guess if that makes sense, because there's stuff like I item weight, which I hate that kind of stuff in games, but there's like item weight and stuff like that. So like night classes can hold more stuff.
So it's not my fault. Like, what are they saying about difficulty exactly? Like, the enemies are too hard, their skills are too broken. What exactly are they saying?
I think
Probably a
it's
little bit of both.
yeah. I think it's having the same problem that you had with the Yakuza, where like the boss suddenly just becomes extremely difficult out of nowhere because you're not built right.
Okay. Well, for that one, it was pretty much leveled. There was a level discrepancy there that I did not like. Like again, I was like level 35, 34. Boss was like level 50. And I'm like, what? So that was my problem. But if it's yeah, if it's a problem like for a game like that, I'll probably definitely know, okay, I gotta switch classes, probably get skills for different classes, and I'll probably be okay. But Yakuza was a different case.
Yeah, I think this more comes down to a strategy problem than like a leveling problem. Because I was even like pretty high level, and I would still have guys die, and then you can have them get revived, and that always helps. But yeah, like usually you go to a town, there's side quests. I basically always do every side quest available. And then, I try to look down the tree and go, all right, do I want this ability? Yes. Okay. And basically what I've done is I get freelancer until I get JP up and then switch to whatever class I want them to be at the time being. And then they can, they can get their skills faster. Because if you go into that, one of the first fights with a bunch of freelancers, you're going to get walloped for sure. You got to have the different classes.
So
See, at least with Bravely Default, it's like setting the tone for you in the beginning of the game. Like you're gonna have to switch up, or you're gonna get washed. You're gonna get destroyed. So at least they're not coming out of nowhere. The difficulty's not coming out of nowhere and blindsiding you. The beginning of the game is telling you, hey, you better change up classes. You better learn some skills, or you're gonna get destroyed throughout this entire game.
I think the other thing that people might be having trouble with too is when to use Brave or Default. Because most random enemies, you just I'll Brave 4 times, regular attack, and you can usually take them out. But if you do that with bosses, you're going to get destroyed. So you have to be like, all right, let me default for a couple turns, store up some stuff. Let's buff, like protect our characters.
That literally just sounds like that sounds like what anybody would do. Like if you're playing a boss battle, like default, like you know what? I'm not playing the game. I'm not in it. So you know what? Let me fall back. I'm tired.
Yeah, you don't want to eat your own hat or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So eat my own words or whatever. So let me finish up Persona 5 Strikers, then I'll move on to Bravely Default.
Yeah, but I mean, the game is very like other than the difficulty, I feel like the story is very standard JRPG. Oh, we're trying to find the 4 crystals. The story is not particularly compelling in any way. It looks pretty good in some ways. It looks not so good in some ways. Music is amazing. Music is probably the highlight. The music and the combat system are probably the highlights so far.
They need to make the most generic story ever, where you have to find the crystals and summon the elemental spirits to save the mana tree.
Mm-hmm. Also, the main character has amnesia.
Oh yeah, silent protagonist as well.
That's right. Yep.
Silent protagonist.
I will say it does do this really cool. It has this really cool mechanic that I like. And I think the 3DS version had something similar to this. So this might be their way of trying to make something similar. But basically, very early in the game, if you do the side quest, it unlocks this feature where you have a boat that you can send off, and it'll like find treasure and stuff. So it only does that when your Switch is like off or in sleep mode or whatever. And so, like I'll turn it off for the night, and then I'll boot it back up, and it's like, oh, your exploration is full. So you go check in, and then it gives you all these items, which is really helpful because a lot of them are like, JP orbs or experience orbs or money or whatever. So it's almost like, hey, even though you haven't played, we're going to like boost your experience. Like here, you can boost your experience.
Cool. Okay, yeah, that's pretty well. That sounds like modern convenience, which is not bad. That sounds man. Like, if you don't have time to play and you pick it up, you don't have to do too much grinding. If you got like some experience or some potions, and you don't have to, get money and buy stuff all the time. That seems pretty cool. How many are there difficulty options?
Yeah, I think it's just easy, normal, hard.
What are most people playing on? Normal or hard or easy? I don't know.
Probably normal. I think it's one of those games where like normal is hard for most people, and then
Oh,
easy is normal. Would be my guess.
okay.
Um, but again, I'm used to these kind of games, so it's not been too difficult. I'm playing on normal,
Okay.
um, but I'm also doing a lot of grinding because I love a game with a job system in it because I'm like, oh, I want to get this ability here and this ability there and mix and match and have this like super awesome character. So I think like for like JRPG veterans like us, we might have a leg up compared to most like casual JRPG fans. If that's
Well,
a good way to put it.
should probably be playing on easy then, if that's the case.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
Yeah, no, right. I go play on easy. No big deal. But yeah, it might be right. It might be people playing on normal, and they're still having a tough time. Which okay, we'll see what that's like when I get around to it. So I've encountered games like that where you play on normal and it's a pretty tough challenge.
So,
Yeah.
good first impression.
Yeah, no, yeah. So far, so good. I'm about, I think, 5 or 6 hours in. I got to the second town, which is basically the town from the demo. If you guys played the demo, but it is totally different. It doesn't play out like the demo does. Different bosses, different story beats, and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which is good.
Yeah, they did the demo right. The demos for JRPGs should just be like a story that is in the world but has nothing to do with the main game. Just so you get all the mechanics and stuff. That's how you should do it.
Exactly.
So, I'm sorry, Taylor. Have you played the other Bravely Default games in any capacity, or this is your
Yeah,
first
I beat the first one. I played like maybe an hour or two of the second one. I just never finished
one?
it for whatever reason.
So, what do we play the Bravely Default games for? Do you play them for the story? Probably not, because you said it was pretty lackluster or not that great or not that compelling. So, are we playing for the gameplay and pretty much the mix and match classes and whatnot?
That's what I would be there for. Yeah, mainly the combat, and then this is just me, but I think even the music in the first game is really great, and I think the
Mhm.
music in this one is also good. So if you like a good soundtrack, then that's probably what you're playing it for. The combat and the music.
Yeah, because I never like Bravely Default was one of those games that I just like. I want to say I just like downloaded from a website and just like
Mhm.
played. I just played it for like 5 seconds and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." And I didn't take it seriously. And I think I did the same thing for Bravely Second. I was like, "Oh, okay, this is cool." I just didn't never took it seriously. Plus, it was on 3DS, and I was probably running down my usage of the 3DS, so I never got a chance to play it, like really get into a Bravely Default game. So I think this is going to be my first one.
Me and you too. Me and you both, brother.
Yeah, like
When I got Bravely Default, Taylor was there with me when we got it together, and I played it, and then I stopped playing it.
What didn't you like about it, or what didn't stick with you?
It wasn't that. It was the time period. This was play everything mainstream Nick,
Ah,
not
gotcha.
JRPG Nick. No, those are dark times. Very very dark times.
yeah. For me, I just didn't care about it enough to keep going or to consider it as a game I'm actually playing.
Fair enough.
I do need to get back to it. Hopefully they do like a Switch HD remaster for Bravely Default 1 or something like that. That'd be cool. And they did it for Alliance Alive.
That's true. Yeah. They put a lot of work into that because for it to go to 3DS, that wasn't like Rune Factory 4. This was like they like really put work into that.
I mean, so did Rune Factory 4. This is still
Yeah.
a 3DS game.
Yeah.
All right. And Shadow, you've been playing Persona 5 Scramble? Or Strikers? Why do I keep saying Scramble? It's Strikers, right?
Yeah, Strikers.
Why do we keep saying Scrambled?
That was the Japanese name for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did they change it?
Easier.
Yeah, Strikers is probably just easier for people to look at.
I mean, they always do that because I think the full name was Persona 5 Scramble: The Phantom Strikers.
Yeah,
so
something like that,
let's just
shorten that up real quick.
Yeah.
Like we dropped the S and T. Anyway, yeah, I'm playing that game. I'm pretty sure Taylor has told you guys all about it for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Warriors games, to be honest, But this is pretty good. I'm playing on hard right now, and it's really like you definitely gotta pay attention to what's going on because you can't get hit. You could die pretty easily if you're not like aware of what's going on. Because like you gotta pay attention to weaknesses and make sure you hit the weaknesses and follow up. It's like you got sections where are like full force Muso warriors type stuff. And then there are like when you're just going around the map, you can probably just go into a battle, encounter a battle, kind of like an RPG, like you would normally do in the JRPG. So that's kind of interesting. Like it's definitely a mix between like action to RPG and warriors style for the most part. But it's done pretty well, I have to say. If most warriors games were like this, I'd probably be playing most of them. Probably. The camera seems to be a bit of an issue sometimes. And the targeting system can be a little bit messed up because as soon as like a battle starts, I have to find that one enemy, like the big enemy. That's like, okay, you're probably gonna be a problem. Let me make sure I get on you and take you out first before I go to anybody else. I do like how they implemented Futaba into the game a little bit more. Like you know how in like most games you got like tower defense or something like that for the most part. And
Yeah.
they put her in like that, like she has to hack a terminal and you gotta protect her. That makes sense for Paba's character. Like that was like slid in there pretty easily. Normally I would probably dock a game for that, but it's like okay, this makes sense. So I'm kind of cool with it. I like how there's no penalty for leaving the jails. Like if you're running low on SP, just go, just go and come right back. Like you recover all your SP, you don't really need to use items to recover them. There's no time limit, quote unquote, with like days and stuff like that, or send a card or something like that. At least from what I've seen.
Yeah, no,
Um,
there's not.
yeah, but the only thing I'm really having a problem with, besides the camera and like maybe the lock on a little bit, is the story. I'm like, so wait a minute, this is taking place after Persona 5, right? The police force know what's going on. They even said it in the beginning. They know what's going on. That the main character of the game, whatever his name is like it's the work of the Phantom Thieves. Shouldn't they be going to take him in immediately? Yo, what's going on? Like, why are they taking this guy into custody already and asking him questions? But I'm still in the beginning of the game, so I don't know. Maybe that does happen sometime down the line. I don't know. But yeah, it seems like a pretty good game. Nice little spin-off game. I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely gonna finish it up.
Nice.
But when you say it feels more like a normal Persona game, or let me ask you this: does it feel more like a normal Persona game than you were expecting?
Yeah, it definitely like I think I said it in like when the Japanese demo dropped. I said it's more of a Persona game first and foremost than it is like a action or Muso game. I like the whole style of the game, like the menus by themselves, just like goddamn, more JRPGs menus like this. It's so nice looking, great to look at.
Oh yeah.
No, you gotta have the generic Nintendo game menus, which all look the same. Every Nintendo first party game on the Switch has the same exact type of menus.
Unfortunately, so as far as I'm playing on PC, just be aware that there are troubles on the PC. Like you're probably more than often than not going to run into something issue. I'm running into the issue of a black screen constantly, and anytime I put the game in full screen mode, it just black screen like crazy. So I have to play in window mode for the time being. And I think the game's been out. How long has the game been out? Almost a week now, probably. I don't even know. Like officially, they still
Yeah, I
haven't.
think it'll be a week on Tuesday. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, they still haven't gotten like a patch out for that yet. Because a lot of people are having trouble with that. Not like it's not just me. A lot of people are having trouble with it. So I pretty much had to disable full screen for it to even play the game. It's weird. So that's Koei Tecmo. Koei Tecmo has always got problems, man. They always got issues. I remember when like recently when I was playing Rise 2, there was issues with the game out the gate. But they fixed it pretty quick, so it became a non-issue at that point. But their track record for PC ports are a little bit iffy. Weird,
Spotty.
too,
Yeah.
yeah, because you could see like they didn't do Persona 4 Golden, and that came out that ran pretty much just fine for almost everybody. So Koei Tecmo is just be better tomorrow, Koei Tecmo.
So Taylor,
Yep.
since you like Muso games so much now, you're gonna have to go back to the past and play the shitty games that suck ass and play some Dragon Quest Warriors.
Oh, I've played that. I played the first one, quite a bit of the first one.
I don't remember.
It feels it's weird because like Shadow was saying earlier, that is more of a tower defense game than any of the Warriors games. Because most Warriors games fall into like one of two categories. It's like there are bases all over the map, and you just have to capture bases and beat bosses, and there's like a million guys in between, and that's most Warriors games.
I see. It's interesting, Taylor, as you say that, because if I say that, there's a whole different thing. Like, oh no, they're not. They're not really like that. You know.
They kind of are.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they kind of are. I know this. Like, I play a handful of them, but apparently people who have played a whole lot more are would disagree with that. But whatever.
It was definitely true for the Dynasty Gundam games.
Okay. Yeah. See. I should have you guys on my podcast so you can talk to you.
Do you remember those games? There was 3 of them. They're like Dynasty Gundam games, Dynasty Warrior Gundam games.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll be damned if I say most Muso games are the same. Like oh, just no, they're not. They're not the same. They're all different. Like I'm like, are you serious? Like
No.
okay.
Yeah, they are. There's a lot of like the themed ones, I should say, are.
Yeah, that's true. Like anything based off of anime are probably like more or less the same for the most part. I think. I'm not sure. Whatever.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I and that's kind of my thing is like I feel like your mileage varies depending on what the property is that the game is about. Like
you'll be more tolerant. Yeah.
Yeah. So I imagine this Persona 5 Strikers is probably going to sell better than a normal Dynasty Warriors or whatever. And like I think the last Hyrule Warriors is the best selling one of those games ever.
It's interesting because like people always like, especially when you're trying to bring up Warriors games, Muso game sales, and bring up Hyrule Warriors. I'm like, that's Zelda, bro. Of course, Zelda's so like crazy. Like, did you think that wasn't gonna happen? Like,
it's Zelda. Have you seen the Pokemon fans?
I'm sure. It's like we were just discussing earlier. If there was a Pokemon Warriors game, how much you want to bet it'll probably be one of the best-selling Warriors games of all time? Like, is that something to really like bring up as a point? Like, come on now.
That's funny.
All right.
Because do you remember Pokemon Conquest?
Yeah.
All right. So that sold well, but it was also returned a lot.
Oh shit! Really?
Because people bought it thinking it was a Pokemon game, and then they returned it, and they're like, "What the hell is this?" It's like, well, yeah, it's not the Pokemon you know. I totally forgot. What was the game like?
I have no idea.
Conquest? Isn't it like a dungeon crawler? Or no, that's Mystery Dungeon.
That's Mystery Dungeon. Let me see. Pokemon Conquest.
Oh, wasn't it like it was like a strat? It had something to do with like Oda Nobunaga or something.
Yeah.
I think it's like a strategy RPG. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strategy RPG with Pokemon. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're right. That means we got to play it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, actually, I have to pick that up.
Yeah. But yeah, everyone was like, this isn't Pokemon. I had so many kids. They would look at the Pokemon games that use DS section, and they'd be like, Pokemon Diamond, that's like $44. Oh, I want to get Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. That's only like $5. And then they buy it and they come
only
back.
$5 for a reason.
Yeah. They come back and they're like, this isn't Pokemon. It's like, I could tell you that. Don't skip out on the freaking money, man.
Yep.
Okay. Let's go do some questions. And if you guys want to ask us questions, you ask us on our Discord or message us or tweet at us on our Twitter, which all links are below. Well, Kreplin asks, is there a food that you really crave when you see it lovingly rendered in JRPGs or other games? For me, it's bao, steamed barbecue pork buns.
So wait, this question is, if you see it in the RPG, do you really want it or something like that?
Yes.
I think it's, for me, it's ramen.
It's
like a really good ramen bowl.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I was gonna say the same thing. It's like seeing ramen in anime. It's like, oh, that's so bad.
Yeah. It's crazy because I actually had a really good ramen bowl the other day delivered to me from DoorDash, and I was like, I just put the noodles together with the soup and the other ingredients, and it was so fucking good. I'm like, God damn, this is some good ass ramen.
I gotta go to Matsuya now, Taylor.
Oh, that's the best.
Not when you have to wait outside in the line because everything's still in lockdown over here.
Here's the big brain play. You pre-order it on Yelp, and then you just walk in. That's what I did last time I was there. You have to be ready though. You have to know you're gonna want it. But yep.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea. I like how we all said ramen.
Yeah.
Frenzer ask, what reasons can motivate you to earn a platinum trophy?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Like for me, I'm not really much of a platinum trophy hunter, but if it's like, okay, I'm playing the game, I might as well just do like some of this stuff. Like sometimes I'll take a look at the trophies, and if it's like, oh, I'm just playing the game normally, I could probably earn some of these trophies. Yeah, sure, let me try it and do it. Or if I just gotta reload like a save game and do something different, like yeah, I'll give it a shot. But more often than not, I'm not going for a platinum trophy unless I really enjoy the game. Like absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think Taylor is our only resident trophy hunter here.
Yep.
Like I used to back when I was mainstream Nick. I'm not mainstream Nick anymore, so I don't really care for trophies. I just get them whenever it pops. It pops up.
Yeah, I think to me it's kind of like what Shadow was saying. It's like, one, is the game like fun? Because a lot of times going back to get some of these trophies are just so like grindy and boring, you know? So you have to like be really into it, or like I have to be really into it. And then usually it's like, okay, if I beat the game, how far into the trophy list am I? Like if I'm pretty close, then I'm like, oh, I might as well just clean it up, you know?
Exactly.
But like, or if it's like the game is so good, I'm like, you know what? I feel like I owe it to this game. Not that that means anything, but like right now I'm in the middle of cleaning up for the Ease 9 trophy. And I have most of the trophies, but there's like a handful that are really stupid. So basically there's 6 trophies, one for each playable character, and it's like run around the world with this character as the party leader. And I'm like, okay, but it's not like for a few seconds. Like I have no idea how long you have to run around with them. And I remember there was a trophy like that in Final Fantasy 15, and the way I did it is I just stuck 2 rubber bands around my controller and I just left it on overnight, and then I got the trophy. And I'm like, see, these trophies are stupid when you have to do stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
The only trophies that I really went after was when I first played Dead Space.
I remember that. Yeah,
I platinumed that one, and then Dead Space 2, I almost platinumed that one. I forgot why I stopped, but I think like the hardest trophy was beating the game on Impossible, which without saving, and using only the plasma gun, which is the starting gun you get, which is which is what I always did, because the plasma gun is like the best gun in the game when you upgrade it.
Yeah. Yep.
the plasma cutter, not gun. Dead Space. I like how they're making a spiritual successor to Dead Space. When did we see that? Was that Game Awards?
I think yeah. I think it was the Game Awards.
Everyone was like, this looks like Dead Space. Oh, I was like, oh, I wonder why. It's made by the guy who did Dead Space. Will also asks, a lot of video games focus on combat and movement because those are fairly straightforward to program. What would you like to see a leap forward in possibility due to deep learning algorithms, physics, NPC AI, alterable environments, ambient wildlife, etc., etc.? So, crazy things that you want to happen in games, pretty much, that are hard to program.
I think like a more dynamic day-night cycle, not just like, oh, it gets dark and light, but like different things can happen in the city, like, or maybe not different shops are open, but like maybe different things are going on in the city. Because, you know, normally if I'm thinking of like, I'm trying to think of a JRPG where there's a day-night cycle. The only one that comes to mind is Final Fantasy 15, but like nothing really happens that's all that different. It's just it's dark outside or light outside, but
Well, I mean,
be
that's
kind of cool.
I mean, that's Final Fantasy 15, dude. That's why.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Yeah,
got
so stuff like that would be kind of neat, I suppose. Well, so they mentioned physics. This isn't exactly a JRPG, but one of my favorite RPGs from the PS3 era was Dragon's Dogma. And one of my favorite things that you could do in that game was you could pick up either enemies or NPCs or just whatever, and you can just throw them. And there were so many cliffs all over the place. I just loved picking them up and like throwing them off cliffs. I don't know why. I got a lot of joy out of that. So stuff like that where they, you could do stuff like that, or if like you threw them against stuff, like they would react differently depending on what you're throwing up against. Like if it was a rock, like it'd do more damage, or if you're throwing up against some wood, maybe they'd go through the wood or something.
Taylor,
That'd be
sing the
kinda
theme
cool.
song.
Oh, the Dragon's Dogma. They took it out in the Dark Arisen version. I was so mad.
For me, I mean, like destructible environment is nice, more details. But once you destroy, like you don't want, like, you want it at the same time you don't want it. You know what I mean? Like it's like, oh, this is awesome, and then you go back to, like, whenever you go back to that area, it's just completely destroyed and never looks nice ever again. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
I would like fighting systems to be more fighting game like. We got
What do
the,
you
how like breaking what's it called? Breaking defense kind of stuff. Exploiting people, enemies, like misses and stuff like that. Playing footsies. Just
okay.
like imagine like a battle system while playing For Honor, except not a rock paper scissors type of thing. You guys remember For Honor?
Yeah. Never played it, but it looked cool.
It's like, imagine a Tales game but with a break system. I mean, didn't they had that before? It's been a while. I don't remember. Wingy Chef asks, when is the first time you noticed the same voice actor that plays another character in a different JRPG? For me, playing Dot Hack GU right after the Tales of the Abyss and wondering why Kun and Guy Sissel and Guy sound the same. Kinda makes me notice that.
I think for me it was, I forgot his name, Yuri something.
Lowenthal, I think is his name.
Yeah, he, like, especially back in the day, like I don't want to say like mid 2000s, like he was in every single he was in anime, he was in freaking JRPGs. Like you heard this man as the main character for a lot of voices, and I'm like, damn, this man he's everywhere.
Imagine knowing a voice actor that is in a lot of games that you play. It's kind of hard to.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I know that guy. But luckily for me, hearing Sean's voice doesn't throw me out of the game.
It's funny though, because you definitely like have an ear for it where you wouldn't before. Because I remember when I played the beta for Genshin Impact, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that was Sean, and then it came out. I'm like, oh yeah, that's him.
Yep.
I think I'm with Shadow. Yuri Lowenthal. He's Luke in Tales of the Abyss, and then he's Yosuke in Persona 4, and then
he's Spider-Man.
He must be in. Oh, he's Spider-Man. Yep. And I'm trying to think. He's got to be in something else, but nothing comes to mind off the top of my head.
It's like trying to find Aaron Fitzgerald in games. You're like, oh, that's very no. It's really hard actually, because she tends to do very different voices. Like you get to hear the Chie voice, which is just Aaron in general, right? And then you get to hear Inez from Bravely Default, which is also Aaron, but sounds completely different. But did you tell if it was her?
It depends. It depends. Like yeah, like you said, Agnes is very like soft spoken and whatever, and then sometimes she does the opposite. Like she plays a Bullet, I think, in was it Blaze Blue or Guilty Gear?
Oh, Blitz.
And yeah, and that's a very like intense, like I'm gonna kick your butt, So
Uko Leconque asks, what is their most recent favorite JRPG memory? For me, it's watching my older brother play Persona 4 Golden for the first time. It was really exciting for me since he almost never plays JRPGs. He just beat the 8-bit dungeon.
nice. Probably just playing Final Fantasy VII Remake. Just there was so much nostalgia that came through in the music and all the emotions. So probably just playing Final Fantasy VII Remake for the first time. Well, the only time I haven't replayed it. So
I mean, I have a memory with Taylor's in it. A lot of them are actually Taylor memories. Is one of them that's really funny is that we were all at Connor's house and you were playing Tales of Grace's F. You probably know which one I'm talking about, right? And there's this boss battle that you could beat. You fight Hubert, and it's like an optional boss battle, and you can beat him. And you get something. And Taylor kept trying it, and he's like, "I can't beat this. This is so stupid. It's so dumb." And then I was like, "Come on, you gotta get good." And he was like, "Oh, okay, fine. Nick, you try it." And I'm like, "Okay." And I try it, and I lose the first round. And you're like, "See?" And I'm like, "Okay, let me try it." And then second round, I beat him. And he's like, "Of course, of course." And that's with
Wait,
me.
what
that
battle
was
was that?
when you fight, you fight Hubert. It's 1v1 when you're just Asbel versus Hubert. And it's just like a optional battle you could do.
Okay. I do remember there was one battle in Tales of Graces that was ridiculous.
There's a lot of battles in Tales of Graces that are ridiculous. A lot of memories of JRPGs for me is just watching Taylor or Connor playing them. Because I never played them. Like, Taylor and Connor would come over and they would bring their games like Legend of Legaia or Final Fantasy VII, and you're like, "Look how awesome this game is!" And I'll just watch them. I'm like, "Oh yeah, cool." Never played them. Never played them until I was an adult.
Now you know the greatness.
I know the greatness. What about you, Shadow? Any memories?
Think of some stuff. I'm not really sure if I have any like recent ones. Like that was I guess like hype moments, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have any really recent ones. That's why I went to the past.
I can't really think of any.
Ooh, actually, I got one. Okay.
Good.
So I beat Cold Steel 4. I beat the true ending. And then I wanted to see the credit scene again, right? Because the credit scene is very like nice and emotional. So I beat it again, and it was like, oh, okay, the credits end. I'm like, oh, that's nice. And then another scene pops up that wasn't there from before, and I'm like, wait a second, what the hell's going on? And like that whole scene was just like a huge like lore drop. I'm like, what the hell? I was screaming. I was screaming at the screen. That's my most recent memory of that, of a JRPG.
Nice.
I remember I was messaging Shadow. I was like, "What? Did you see that scene after the credits, where like it freaking pretty much shows off who the Grandmaster is?"
That's interesting. Why they do that? Like, because who's gonna be playing the game and says, "Oh, I want to see the ending again"? I just felt like seeing the ending again. Oh, motherfucker.
Yeah, right. I was like, what? Why would they do that?
I think I might have to forget about Persona 5 Strikers for a while.
Why?
Why?
Because I was just playing it a little bit while we're talking, and the game just like crashed.
Fun.
So I might have to go to Brave Default.
Oh, there's too many crashing.
Yeah, if it's gonna keep doing this.
That's your most recent JRPG memory. The frustration of Persona 5 Scramble. or strikers. Proletariat asks, how do you feel about games that obscure or hide the real antagonist final boss until you reach the end of the game? Do you think it cheapens the experience when you spend so much time building up to the finale, only to have the game pull the rug out from under you by declaring some previously unknown foe to the true final boss?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't like that at all. Like somebody just like suddenly just comes out of nowhere, and that they're not the like I want to say like Final Fantasy 9 that I just recently beat. Wait, do I have to go? No, this ain't spoiler. Like, he's the main baddie for the most part throughout most of the game, and then like you fight somebody else completely different at to, at the end of the game. So I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I'm like, well, okay, I of course I know who he is, but I'm saying like I thought Cujo was gonna be the end all be all boss for this game, but no, it's just somebody else that we learned about like fairly recently too. So I'm like, oh okay, whatever.
Yeah, I remember they did that in Legend of Dragoon. The final boss, I'm like, it gets mentioned here and there, but I'm like, this is definitely not who we've been chasing the whole game.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, I ain't like that in Final Fantasy 9.
What about Persona 4? Do you think they did that well, or was that out of nowhere?
I felt like that one's probably out of nowhere as well. Because you're saying what's her name is the true. Well, she's the true boss of the game.
Yeah.
She's the one pulling the strings behind everything. But I felt like the person we were chasing was what's his name? I forgot.
Don't say it.
Oh God, whatever the spear guy. Yeah, and we fought him, and then yeah, the other girl just comes out of nowhere, and like she's like the true boss. But she's been manipulating everything from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's like it's a different severity than than what I named for Final Fantasy 9. But yeah, you could say it's pretty much the same for me personally.
Yeah, I don't really like that either. I think it makes the ending not as impactful as opposed to if you're like dealing with somebody the whole game. Like when you think of the all-time great villains like Sephiroth, like
Mm-hmm.
you may not see him right away, but once he enters the story, it's like, okay, he's gonna be here, And I just think that makes it more I don't know, it just makes it more impactful.
So
Yeah.
you fight Sephiroth, you finally defeat him, and then suddenly it's a new villain right after, and you're like, "What the hell?"
That would suck.
It's like the boss after the final boss in Ni no Kuni. The boss what the game is freaking named after, and it's at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Was that one of them? Was that just like, whoa, okay, there's more to this?
No, because I mean that's the final boss, but it's really weird because they added that for the PS3 version because you play the DS version, there's another guy that's the final boss, and if you pay attention, you can kind of tell because like there's an animated cutscene and it's very clear that the game was supposed to end there, but then it just kind of keeps going. So I think that would have been the better ending spot, but not the worst thing.
Will asks, do you ever hear a game is so bad that you feel that you just need to play it, and if so, which ones and how did it go?
No.
I think I tried out Last Rebellion. I remember that one just being like so bad. People were saying it was so bad. I wanted to see what it was like. And I played it. I was like, oh yeah, this is definitely as bad as everybody's saying it is.
Is that the one with like?
Oh shit.
I'm trying to remember. But that's during the PS3 era, right?
Yeah, I was into PS3 era.
No. I think we buy games and then we find out that they're bad. I don't think we don't think we play the games that are bad just to seek them out.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. No. Well, I never actually did it, but I wouldn't do it. I did it one case with.
I mean, you guys did play Time and Eternity.
Yeah, we didn't know it was bad. Like,
Yeah, I didn't know it was gonna be that bad.
we didn't know it was gonna be that bad. We
Wait,
didn't know anything.
didn't you play it at like an event, Taylor?
Yeah, this was back when I was working in San Francisco, so I could go to those NIS America events really easily. So I remember I was there when they first announced that they were going to bring it over. It looked cool, but I mean,
Oh, so
a
you didn't play it.
demo. I don't think I played it. No, but I mean, if you were to play a demo like that, I think you could say, "Oh, the combat's interesting," but it never gets beyond like what you see at the beginning of the game. You know, it's very simple.
Yeah. How important is the name of a game or series, and what do you think makes a good or bad or great terrible one?
I'm just gonna say right now, Triangle Strategy is a dumb name, and they better change that. Like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Really, I don't really care as long as the game is good. But man, sometimes just find a better name.
I mean, you play Tales games, right? Those names make no sense.
Yeah,
They
but
used to. They used to make sense, and then for some reason they went Square Enix on us.
Yeah, but they should like they like Tales of the Abyss, Tales of Exalia, Tales of Berseria. Like they sound like fantasy type of games and stuff like that. I don't have a real problem with the name, but just like don't be anything stupid. Like Infinite Undiscovery was like one of the dumbest names I ever heard in my
Infinite
life.
Undiscovery.
Yeah, I was like, fine, whatever.
How was that game, by the way?
I don't think I ever actually like I don't think I actually I played it, but I don't think I never took it seriously.
Yeah, I never really played any of the 360 games. I think we should try that
Yeah.
one time because we got Blue Dragon,
Yeah, I didn't play that
Lost
one.
Odyssey.
I played that one. That one was good.
Magna Carta. Was that
one? Yeah, that was Magna Carta 2. Magna Carta 2. I remember having problems with it. I think if I go back to it now, I'll be a little bit accepting of it. They should release that one.
An Infinite
Undiscovered.
Undiscovery.
Yeah.
See, there was a lot of JRPGs on Xbox 360, Taylor. We just bought the wrong system.
Yeah, because
there's not a lot. There's some.
Yeah. At the time, Microsoft was really interested in winning over like the Japanese base, so they were trying to get everything underneath the sun. That's why Vesperia was exclusive for a while.
Yes, you got to play the beta version of Vesperia.
Basically. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what do they have? Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon, stuff like that. But...
Enchanted Arms. No, that was pretty good. They were pretty good
games. Isual ask, what's the most autismo gaming thing you've done?
What's the most what?
Autismo gaming thing you've done.
Explain that one for me. I don't know what that
means. Autistic thing you've done.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Something that shouldn't need to have been done, but you did it anyway for the hobby.
Does saving like an idiot count?
That yeah, I think this keeps like having like 20, 50, 30 saved games for one playthrough.
Yeah, I do that with Legend of Hero games. I was literally making a new save slot every time I saved. I did that for East 8. I had I think I did almost 250 save slots.
Wow.
I literally said, you know what? Let me just save. Each time I save, create a new slot and see what happens. And I just did that.
It's just Falcom games, man. Falcom games.
Yeah. Yeah, I just save I always save. I save like crazy. Oh, did I save? Let me just save it again. Let me make sure I saved
it. For me, it was probably getting annoying platinum trophies or something. Because it's is this necessary? No. Because remember I was saying earlier, I'm like, oh, I did it because I felt like I owed it to the game, which doesn't make any sense.
No, I think the most autismo thing that you did was play Final Fantasy 13-3.
Yeah, that shit.
No, I think one of the this is a real OCD weird thing was when Cold Steel got re-released on PS4. I can't stand how steel bookcases look on the shelf. I like everything to look the same. And because Cold Steel didn't release a not steelbook version, I imported the European version just so it could look
Oh wow.
uniform on my shelf. Yeah. Worth it. Although not for that game, but
it doesn't look bad on your on your shelf, right?
And that looks great. Oh, it looks amazing.
Me, I don't think I have one. Nothing pops in other than that saving thing. There's some games where I need to talk to every NPC. I don't know why. Some like Grandia, I like talking to every NPC for some reason.
Grandia, interesting.
Yeah. I don't know why for that one. I just like doing it. Thank you, Isual. Will also ask, I tend to do all the side quests in a game as I go through, often to the detriment of story pacing, but then I drop off on post-game content. Once the credits roll, I just lose motivation. How do you fare with side and post-game content?
You guys want to go first? Go ahead.
I'll usually do a lot of side content. I'm not a big fan of post-game content. Like when I beat Grace's F and there's that epilogue, I didn't even play it. When Xenoblade re-released, there was like that whole other extra chapter they added, didn't play it. So like once the game like hits the credits, I'm done with it.
So you didn't play the F, the F in the title?
Nope.
But you played the after story, the epilogue and after story in Tokyo Xanadu. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Same thing. It's the same thing, Taylor.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I think it depends on the game. Because like with Grace's, I just wanted to like say I beat it, so I didn't want to like when I was done, I was like, I'm done.
You also started like it started falling off for you. I remember.
Yeah. It started to become a slog near the end.
Yeah. What was the question?
Side quest versus post game, like how do you handle it?
Oh, okay. So I do side quests all the time. I missed the side quest of when you had to like talk to random people and they wouldn't pop up on your screen, like finding the best limit breaks in Final Fantasy VII and stuff like that, or finding like emerald weapon. Like I think the best secrets are best side quests are the ones where you're just exploring the overworld and you see something weird, and you're just like, wait, what's that? And you go head to it, and then it just goes off onto this huge tangent of something, and you're just like, whoa, that was cool.
I totally agree. This is not a JRPG, but a game that there's a similar example of that in Horizon Zero Dawn. Like you're just walking around, there's like this giant hole in the ground, and you're like, what is this? And so I jumped in the hole, and then like you walk into this cave, and then all these lights turn on, and there's this armor behind this big case, but you need like 4 keys to unlock it. And so that, I mean, it tells you it's like a quest, so it's a pretty obvious side quest, but like there's no marker, there's no quest that sends you down that hole. You just kind of have to naturally go down there and explore around a little bit. But I'm with you. Those are kind of fun.
And Tales games tend to have a lot of post-game stuff. And I always really want to get into it because there's always those cameo battles and stuff like that, and you get like crazy like dual mystic arts and stuff like that. And I don't know, for some reason it just like the credits roll and I'm like, I'm done. And I always want to go back and do those post-game stuff. Like I did it once with Zestiria when you fight, what's his name? Oh, who's the mage guy? Jade. You fight Jade,
yeah,
and Sophie. That was fun. And then in Tales of Eternia, I did all the extra content, all of it, and there's so much of it. There's so many like secret summons you could get. There's a summon that you get where it just summons the characters from Tales of Destiny, and it's like a big like combo. I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Nice.
What about you, Shadow?
Yeah, once the credits roll, I find it pretty hard to go back to the game, honestly. I try to do as much as I can before before I get to the last battle. I remember that definitely happening for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Like I did a lot more things. I like got Cosmos before then. Did a couple of side quests, and now I was like, okay, I don't feel like doing any more side quests. It's time to beat this game and put it down. Because after those credits roll, just like you guys said, it's hard to go back.
There's times where you just want to. Like I have the strategy guides for a lot of Tales games, and I look at what the post game content is, and there's a lot in Tales of the Abyss, and I was like, oh man, I want to get this special skin and stuff. Did you know there's skins in Tales of the Abyss?
Like
Oh,
different costumes.
yeah, there's different costumes. I didn't
Oh yeah,
even know.
absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't
Oh,
know
yeah.
that for a long time. I'm like, oh wow, there are. That's cool.
Oh yeah. For Tales of the Abyss, like I did everything underneath the sun. That's like one of my favorite games of all time. I did like when I first played it, I was so wild about it. I did everything. I got everything.
Yeah, I want to get. I want to do that. But there's so like you fight. I think you fight Gar from Tales of Destiny and someone else. I think from someone from Tales of Symphonia. Good times, dudes. Good
Yeah.
times.
I think for me, it's like you have other games to play at this point. But back in the day, you didn't really have other games to play because you couldn't afford to get other games. So it was like spend as much time as you can with that game, and then maybe some time will pass and you'll be able to finally get another game.
Yeah,
That's how I felt about it.
because like yeah, exactly. Because you're a kid, and you only have a finite set of games. But
Yeah,
now
exactly.
as an adult, you're like, I don't know what to play. Steam. Bye.
Yep.
Bye. Okay, I'm good. All right, guys. That would be it for questions. And once again, if you want to ask questions, go to our Discord. You guys there, or tweet us on our Twitter. And that'll be it for this episode. Actually, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Taylor and Shadow, for joining us. It's hard. I know it's hard for us to get together. So I'm glad that we were able to get together on a weekend for this time. It's good. And next time, or next couple episodes, I'm gonna do a couple specials. So maybe a top 5 one. Huh? You know, I know you guys asked for it. Those are always fun. So unless there's a big news drop like Tales of Destiny gets an HD remake or something like that. But, yeah. So we'll see you guys later.
Later.
All right, bye.